Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking the time this morning to join us for today's webinar covering Foundation's complete HR and payroll solution offerings here. My name is Alex Gray, one of the regional sales managers at Foundation/Payroll for Construction here. I have three great products. We're going to give you guys a high-level overview here today on specifically for the payroll suite here, how we can help with the managing of the employees, the onboarding, or the tracking of the employees' hours from the field, and also at a core of it all, have a payroll service that we offer here as well. With that, we still have a few attendees. Looks like we're getting logged into the meeting here. I'll be back with everyone here in a moment, and we'll go ahead and get things kicked off here shortly. All right, wonderful. Looks like we had a few additional attendees get logged in here. So we'll go ahead and kick things off here today. So again, my name is Alex Gray, one of the regional sales managers here at Foundation Software, Payroll for Construction. Today, going to be giving everyone in the audience a high-level look into our complete HR payroll solution offerings here for the front office, for the field employees, when it comes to the time tracking or the managing of employees' information here. I'll give everyone a high-level look into how we can help with the payroll process as well as with the employee management of those hours and their information here. With today's webinar as well, those in the audience, this is a view-only webinar here. You will not have access to the microphone feature, but you will notice that there is a questions box here. I will have a questions portion at the end of the presentation here today, but as we go along, feel free to throw any of those questions in the chat. We'll be happy to get those answered here, or as well as what I'll do here, I'll go ahead and pull up my personal information. Anyone that has any questions or interest in setting up a one-on-one demonstration, feel free to reach out. Happy to help here, whether it's myself or another representative from the Foundation team here. Be happy to go through either the payroll service, the mobile time card with WorkMax, or our HR employee self-service onboarding application here, hrHQ. Going to have three different product offerings that we'll cover here today. Some of these products can stand alone, integrate with other systems out there, but those in the audience that maybe are current Foundation clients or are also exploring potentially going the Foundation ERP accounting software route, we won't cover the full accounting software here today, but talk about how these products are another part of the offering here with Foundation and can integrate directly with that Foundation accounting product, or can also stand alone, integrate with other products that we're utilizing there in the office. So perfect. So we'll jump into it then. So today, have three steps to kind of the payroll process, the managing of the employees that we'll go through and have separate product offerings to handle each one of those steps. These products can be bundled together, or again, can stand alone, integrate with that accounting system there when it comes to the mobile time cards or the payroll service, or also too, can integrate directly with the Foundation accounting product. So step one with that process is the managing of our employees here, the onboarding of our employees, allowing them to view their own information here, like their pay stubs, their benefits, tax withholding information. That's where hrHQ comes into play here. hrHQ is our brand new employee self-service onboarding product here, where this provides access from the HR admins or also on the employee level to allow them to log in, have access to their direct benefits here, 401k, health insurance, other benefits that we're offering for those team members here. Can give those employees access to be able to view. We also wanted them to be able to update the 401k information, the withholding amounts, can absolutely have them update that information on their end, as well as give them access to their own W-2s, PTO, time changes, pay stubs, as well as also update any personal information, make PTO requests directly through the HR system, as well as those 401k withholdings allow them to update and view that benefit information directly inside the HR package. As we go through here today, I'll have other slides further introducing these product offerings in a little bit more detail. I'll also jump in and provide a high-level overview into that HR system, same with the mobile time cards and the payroll processing here. So step one in managing of our employees here with hrHQ. Step two then, getting our mobile hours, our hours from our employees here in the field, streamlining the hours collection process with a mobile time card application, our offering here, WorkMax. What that's going to give us access to, allow us to track employee clock in, clock outs there, with the ability to have GPS location stamps, geofencing of those locations for the employees. If they're clocking in, clocking out at a location that isn't that job site, gonna immediately flag that time card for us. I've also offered other features like facial recognition tracking to eliminate potential buddy punching, ensuring that it is that employee that's clocking in, clocking out on that job site, as well as to also offering a basic timesheet feature. If we have some sort of foreman entering hours for a group of employees under them, we didn't want them clocking in, clocking out, also offers a timesheet format for that hours collection. Then also too with those time cards, whether we're clocking in, clocking out, or it's simple timesheets, allow us to also virtually capture employee signatures on those time cards, along with other features, modules available in that WorkMax system that I'll go over here today. Then the third step in that process here is the actual payroll processing. So with the Foundation accounting system, you are able to go in and process your own payroll in-house there. You'll have access to everything that I'll cover with payroll for construction here today. Then you can also pay your employees via check direct deposit, handle all tax filings and payments in-house through that accounting system. But if we wanted to streamline that process here, we wanted to outsource that payroll, Foundation offers a payroll service that can be built directly into that Foundation accounting ERP system, or can stand alone and integrate with other accounting softwares out there. QuickBooks, Sage, Viewpoint, etc. That product can stand alone or directly integrate with that Foundation accounting system. And at its core, what we're going to be is a traditional payroll service provider. We'll print and mail check stubs for the employees, handle direct deposit uploads, file and distribute employee W-2s. Then also with that system, allow you to generate your own certified payroll reports, have union tracking, whether we're working with one union, multiple unions, track the corresponding pay rates, all the benefit information, have a union report available for us to pull. Then also too, doesn't matter if we're working to report to one state, multiple states there, be able to handle however many states we need to report to for that payroll processing here, all handled by Payroll for Construction. Then with all your reports, whether we're using Foundation or having this standalone and integrate with other products, provide free reports, all included as a Payroll for Construction / Foundation client, including job costing, EEO, minority compliance, certified payroll, electronic and print formats available, along with those union reports. I will give everyone here today a more in-depth overview on those products here, but to show kind of the steps that we'll be covering here today as we go along through the presentation. So moving on to the next slide here, we'll go ahead and further introduce hrHQ, our newest employee self-service HR onboarding application here. hrHQ is going to be a human resource management app that allows us to go in, onboard employees before the first day of work. As an HR admin, enter basic employee information, go ahead, create and send an invite that goes to the employee's email address. They can then log in, complete their side of the employee onboarding, personal information, contact information, add a bank account with us. They can also then go ahead, fill out the W-4 information, I-9, give us all the information we need for the federal reporting, then complete the employer side of that onboarding, review all the information, go ahead, then pass them over into our payroll system / accounting system to have those employees then set up. No need to go in and manually key in all the information, can get that from the employees, then complete the employer side, have that employee then onboarded before work begins there. With that system, then going to be a web-based application here. Any web browser here, any computer, phone, iPhone, Android, tablet that the employees are utilizing, or yourself as the admin, go ahead, log in to the hrHQ system. We'll give the admins and the employees themselves instant access to employee contact information, benefits, any certifications that we're tracking for the teams there. As well as employees can also manage and update their own information with automated approval processes. So if we allowed our employees to go in, update their address, update their phone number, contact information with us, anything that these employees are updating on their side will then go through an approval process that the admins will be able to review and approve or reject with notes before any of that information is finalized and saved directly to the employee's account profile within our systems here. Then also simplified PTO management, have a calendar or a list view. The employees can go in, request that PTO, have that all tracked within the hrHQ system and approved by the admins. Then also within that HR package, provide pay stub and electronic W-2 access from an easy to use dashboard for those employees. Whether those W-2s have been handled by the payroll service or you handle those W-2s in-house through your Foundation accounting system, that W-2 information, pay stubs are seamlessly flowing over into the HR portal after those have been processed, handled within our systems here. Then finally at the core here, seamless integration with Foundation. So the hrHQ system here, this one, unlike WorkMax and Payroll for Construction, I'll go over here today. This HR system cannot stand alone and integrate with other packages. This one only has a seamless integration with the Foundation Accounting ERP system, or can integrate with Payroll for Construction if we were having that payroll service standalone here. That HR system is only designed to work with the Foundation Accounting or our payroll service that we offer here. Then what I'll do for you guys in the audience is I'll go ahead and jump into the HR system here for a quick high-level overview. So with the HR system, going to have an admin and an employee side to that HR system here. With that information then, those that we give access to the HR admin side will have a toggle between the hrHQ portion and their own employee self-service side. So the portion that I'm in here is going to be the HR admin. On the home dashboard, give us a couple widgets, a high-level look into the onboarding process, progress, turnover information, as well as our active employees. Then within the system, working down off the sidebar here. We need to go in, onboard a new employee before their first day of work. If I come to the new tires tab, gives us a look into where employees are stand in that onboarding process. Those that are completing the employer side or the employee side, those that have submitted the employer side, submitted for us to complete the employer side, and also those that are still completing that information on their end. When I want to create a new employee, I come in, click create employee. We'll go through that, enter the required information, name, email address, phone number, employee start date, work location, and how we're going to lock down this user of accessing that HR system. Once the information has then been saved, I go ahead, save and send that invite, sends an email to that employee. Hey, you've been onboarded as a new employee of such and such construction, contracting, etc. company. Please log in and complete your employee side of that information. Once the employee then logs in, they will then be guided through the onboarding process here. So I'll drag over a separate screen here of what the employees would then see during that onboarding process. With this information, obviously they would start at 0%. For my demonstrations here, I have some initial information I've provided here already, but the employee will go through, complete the employee side of the onboarding process, go through. Information we've already entered from the admin side will default through, flow through into the additional fields here, so they're not continuously keying in extra information here. Go through, give us name, contact, address information, contact driver's license information, fill out the personal information, come through, fill out emergency contacts, beneficiaries, dependents. Can also have this set up to require at least one emergency contact before they carried on through the process here. Then direct deposits, or if they're opting into paper checks here, can give us bank account information. Pay stubs, paychecks can be broken out across as many bank accounts as the employees may need. And also too, if your team only offers pay via direct deposit for the employees, I can turn off the option for them to even be able to opt in to receiving paper checks here. Then continuing on, W-4 information, have state-specific forms here. Go through, complete the W-4 information here. Then electronically sign off on that W-4. After the employee has been onboarded, we'll render a copy of that W-4, attach that electronic signature, save it to that employee's profile for us to go in and pull whenever we may need the information. Then continuing on, all the federal reporting information, employee I-9 info. Again, we'll get a quick scroll through here. Electronic signatures here. Same thing, EEO, self-identification. Complete the questions, electronic signatures, veteran status, WOTC information. The employee goes through, enters their information, completes all the forms for the process of that onboarding. Then once the information's been filled out by the employees here, we'll be able to go through, have them review the information that they need, that they filled out here, can download a copy of that onboarding information, and then go ahead, ultimately submit that onboarding. Once an employee has been onboarded through hrHQ, they've submitted their side, anyone we have set up as an admin receives a notification that the employee has completed the employee side of the onboarding. Can then come through back to my new hires tab, see that the employee has submitted their employee information. I can then come in as the employer, review any of the information that the employee has given us on their end, then continue on completing the employer side of that onboarding, filling out the employer information for the W-4 here. We'll also have instructions, tidbits scattered around that actual HR system of what we're completing here. I-9 information here, view the employee's information, complete the actual employer side. Can also upload any additional supporting documents we may need to include here throughout the onboarding process. And same thing as the employee side, on the employer side, EEO, self-identification, view the information they've provided here. Also too, if they've filled out any hard copies that they've handed to us here in the office, can upload that information, a copy here, bypass the electronic process. Continuing on, VEVRA information, WOTC, view the employee side, view the employer side. Then provide the actual employer information, review their tax withholding information, can add any additional taxing tables we may need to track for the employees. Go ahead, assign a vacation PTO plan here. PTO can be tracked whether we're accruing every 40 hours worked, you're getting an hour PTO, or if we're giving employees a bank number of hours they're dipping into, a number of ways that we can track PTO information, provide them that plan. Then fill out their employment information, track OSHA information, assign workers' compensation information for the team member. Then go ahead and assign the actual payroll information. Hey, is this employee hourly, salaried? Is it a salaried employee that will need hours recorded for them here? Assign pay rates, fill out the payroll information. Then just like on the employee side, the employer will have one final portion here to review all the information that's been submitted during this onboarding process, can contact our employee here, can download a copy of that information, but go ahead, ultimately click submit. What that will then do, take that employee information, pass it over into our accounting system, or if we're just using the payroll service here, set up that employee inside of our payroll system, can go ahead, start recording hours, bring that employee into a payroll run. Let's look into the onboarding process there. What then also hrHQ is going to give us access to. What we can see on the employer side, the employee will be able to see their information, but only specific to that team member here. As the admin, I can then drill down anytime, anywhere, any web browser, view my employee's information. I can make edits, updates, changes on the employer side. Can also do so as the employee with an approval process. When updates are made here, we'll go through that approval process. If an update is made, that HR admin, whether it's one person, multiple users, can then receive a notification that that employee has made a change. Notifications can be pushed out via a push notification directly inside hrHQ, or they can also be an email or text notification, a number of notification preferences available here. But then view all the employment information, personal employment information, emergency contacts, beneficiaries, dependents. View payroll and tax information, those benefits and deductions. We can upload, update on the employer side, or the employee can also update on their side here. One thing to note, hrHQ does not connect directly to, if we're working with a Charles Schwab, for my example, for 401k, it will not connect to those vendors, those benefits providers there. If we do make an update for any benefit information inside hrHQ, that update will need to be made in the actual provider, the vendor's portal there here as well. But also view time off, plan, history of those employees here. Also going to have a document center where, as the HR admin, we can upload any documents that we want the employees to download and view. But from the employee side, they can go ahead, add any documents for us to then track, have saved directly under the employee's profile. Same thing with any federal documents here. My employee, Anthony, was onboarded through the onboarding process. That W-4 was rendered by the HR system. All of our federal reports are then saved directly to that employee's profile for us to go in and pull at any point in time here. But don't want to get too into the weeds with the HR system here then, but as we carry on then to PTO, have list or a calendar view option for those PTOs, have an internal company calendar that we can have broken out by employee, or set up team filters to review. As the admin, we'd be able to go ahead and assign, or go ahead and review and approve any PTO directly from the calendar here. Can add any additional company events, holidays. Can also control if these events are posted, notifying our team members of what has been posted to the company calendar. Then the employees can go ahead and view specific to their PTO and that information. And again, to have a document center, we can upload any information that we would want the employees to go ahead, download, and review here. Also, too, going to have a bulletin board section where we can go in, have a bulletin board posting sent out to the team. When bulletins are posted, can have those prompt a notification for the employees to go ahead and view that bulletin with any new bulletin postings. This can include media, images, videos, additional attachments here, can upload a thumbnail, can also control if I wanted this post to be just living in that bulletin board section, or it can also have that live on the home dashboard for the employees, have it available for them directly when they log in. Then finally, on the admin side, have 4 reports available to run here: employee contact information, pending and approved, time off balances, as well as view those employees that have consented to receiving those electronic W-2s here. But high-level look into the HR system here, give us the ability to manage that employee information here, or as well as to from the employee side. So I'll go ahead, just give you guys a quick look into how this appears for the employees on their own personal employee information. Have a few different logins I need to go through here. You guys wouldn't be logging in, logging out like this, but from the employee side here, come in, view that information, view pay stub information, year to date broken out, previous pay period here. On that employee side, give them access to view their information, but again, lock down to only their specific information. Gonna look very familiar to how we saw on the employer side here, but only specific to that employee. And another thing I'll show you too, hey, those employees, give them electronic access to those pay stubs here. Go ahead, drill down in. view those electronically, can print, PDF, pull copies of those stubs outside the HR system here. Then also too, the employees on their personal information will also have access to their own custom earnings and deductions report or a time card history report here. Come in, put any date range that we may need. Well, we'll do 20. We'll just do this here. 12/31, we'll run this for last year. Run this report, give the employees access to their own earnings and deductions reports here. All right. So high level look into the hrHQ system here. If you are a current Foundation client, current payroll client with us, or exploring any one of those product offerings with us, that hrHQ package directly integrates with the Foundation accounting package, or can also integrate with our payroll services if we were going to use that in standalone by itself here. But with this, I'm going to pause real quick. Looks like there's a couple of questions on the HR system. So onboarding information, is it downloadable to a CSV file format for uploads elsewhere? With this HR system, this does not have a CSV download for the information from the actual HR system. You can download CSV information from the Foundation system itself. So there is ways we could give you information via CSV, but it would not be through the hrHQ system. As well as too, it looks like assigning different union benefits per employee. We can tie in unions to those employees directly through the hrHQ system. You can also do that through Foundation here as well. But when we're setting up the union benefits table, that's all going to be done through Foundation itself here. Then the final question we have, if connected to the payroll processing system, will the system also calculate and produce 1094s, 1095Cs? With Foundation or Payroll for Construction, you can handle your own 1094s, 1095s through that system in-house there. Foundation does offer a separate 1094, 1095C filing service here that is separate from the payroll services from those offerings. We do offer that, but it won't be through hrHQ. That will be a separate service that we do offer here through Foundation. So with that, we'll go ahead. We'll put the HR system to rest. Anyone has any questions, any further interest in exploring this HR system, please feel free to reach out to myself. Be happy to walk you through a one-on-one demonstration, give you a more in-depth look at the HR system here with Foundation. Go ahead and close out here. Go back over to then the PowerPoint here. So step 2 in the payroll kind of overview, processing and managing of the employees here, mobile time tracking. So with us, we offer WorkMax, a mobile time card tracking solution. WorkMax is going to be a cloud-based platform that allows us to collect and share data from a single app from those employees in the field, allow us to easily capture employee hours, jobs, cost codes, signatures, and even more information on those time cards to verify accuracy, all while also tracking location data for those employees clock in, clocks out. If we have them clocking in, clocking out for themselves, or again, too, also have a generic timesheet offering if we had some sort of foreman supervisor entering employee information from the field there. But with that WorkMax system then, with the WorkMax time, WorkMax is going to be more than just a mobile time tracking system. At its core, going to be able to allow us to track and manage time and labor information using that easy to use platform, have clock in, clock out time card formats, also have that timesheet format option here. With that system can also GPS location stamp those clock in, clock outs for the employees, as well as offer a biometric facial recognition tracking feature. When that employee clocks in, clocks out, take a snapshot of who was completing that time card punch. Have an employee profile image that can then be set up. The system will go ahead and flag if it was not that employee that was completing the punch in, punch out to eliminate any potential bunny punching for that team. Within the time cards too, also have asset equipment tracking that could be utilized inside the system. Going to have English and Spanish capabilities for that WorkMax system. Online and offline access, so if we're working somewhere remote, don't have the strongest internet cell connection, we'll have an offline mode, can still utilize access that WorkMax system. And with WorkMax time here, this has a direct integration with Foundation, or it can stand alone and integrate with other accounting packages, payroll providers out there. So that WorkMax system, again, works with other products outside of the Foundation family, or again, can be bundled together with any one of our product offerings here. Then again, with WorkMax, it's more than just time. WorkMax is also going to have a WorkMax Forms module, where these forms allow us to easily capture and upload data, whether this is digital signatures, audio notes, pictures, video footage, a number of options for us to add to those custom forms here to then allow us to then upload from that device to then record those documents here. The WorkMax forms come preloaded with nearly 100 predefined forms, some examples, daily work logs, daily compliance reports, employee clock in, clock out specific forms here, change order forms, and much more. As with those predefined forms, you can also edit, update any of those fields on those predefined forms, or build your own form from scratch inside the WorkMax system. You can have those employees go in, enter any information on those forms. Once the forms have then been completed inside WorkMax, you can have those forms then auto-emailed to any point in contact inside of the office there, whether you wanted a copy of the injury report to go to the safety director, to the owner, to that employee-specific foreman. You can have those then auto-emailed out after they've been recorded through WorkMax here. Then the third portion to WorkMax here is the WorkMax Insights feature. WorkMax Insight is going to give us a high-level dashboard look into our job productivity here, whether that's for our employees in the office or to give that ability to view directly inside the field here. It's going to have up-to-minute real-time data to make the most informed business decisions with tools like allowing us to track true project productivity and actual progress tracking, streamline project management, have metrics to mitigate risk, maximize profits on those individual projects, as well as allow us to create custom reports to access any of the data that we're tracking within our WorkMax system. With those job budgets, can have those built with corresponding hours against our individual cost codes for that specific project. As hours are being recorded against that individual project, will give us a high-level look into where that project stands, and also can tell us if any of these jobs are going to be trending over hours or trending under hours to meet our required budget here. The system will then allow us to flag those projects that are trending in the wrong direction and allow us to drill down into detail to see what's going on with that individual project inside of our mobile time tracking system here. And so what I'll do then is I'll pause here real quick, transition to the WorkMax system. Unfortunately, with today's presentation, the way that it is set up, I will not be able to show any of the, I will not be able to show what the WorkMax system looks like on the device for the employees here today. But within the actual time card system, we will have a time editor in the web browser, as well as then the actual phone specific application here. I'll only be able to show the web browser here with WorkMax, but this will be where we will go ahead and review any of the hours that have been submitted to us. Can also add additional time cards for the employees here. But WorkMax at its core here, have an implementation process where we can lock down this mobile application, how you need to utilize it for your team here. Have specific permissions, groups that we can set up to say, hey, maybe on this individual job here, I only want to be able to utilize these specific cost codes. I only want these specific employees to be able to access that project here. You can also add additional custom fields to track any additional information that your team may need for those individual projects here. Using these permissions can lock down how we want the employees to actually utilize that application. and also to control them to make that time card as simple as possible for the employees on the entry screen, or can have them provide us any information we want. That time card entry screen can be as simple or as complex as we may need for our team members here. Then also within the WorkMax system, have specific overtime rules that we can set up, along with specific shift rules here. Hey, if we want the employee to have that lunch auto deducted at a specific time in the day here, or if we wanted that system to just do an end of the day deduction here for that employee lunch hours here. Or we can also have it set up to say, hey, after the employee has worked 5 hours here on the job site, 10 hours here on the job site, etc., deduct this number of hours for that for that lunch break there. Can also have multiple lunch breaks set up, tied to multiple shifts for those employees here, and have those reviewed, auto deducted as needed for the team members there. Then within that actual WorkMax system, again, unable to show the actual time card entry screen for the employees here on the phone device, but with those employees, they can go in, any information we may need, whether they're clocking in, clocking out, or hey, I work from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. here today, what job I was working on here, what cost codes we were against here. Also can have classifications if we're tracking any phases here as well. Can customize this time card entry screen for the team, allow them to then enter their information. Once time cards have then been entered by the employees here, we'll go through this approval process, that add the actual user here, reviewing those actual hours that have been submitted to us by the team here. With the employees' time cards then, will provide us with these tags on what's going on with the actual employees' information here. Anything that's highlighted in red is going to tell me that there is an issue with that time card. If I were to then select this individual time card, I have a little human, the icon here that's highlighted in red, tells me that my facial recognition feature was not the employee that was completing the punch. If I come into that time card, come to the facial recognition feature, we'll see my employee profile picture, then the employee who had actually completed the employee punch here, telling me, hey, this does not meet my threshold. This was not the employee that completed that punch here. That's why this time card has been flagged. Or if I come into my separate time card here that has the icon grayed out, I can come back to that same recognition tab here, have two wonderful images of myself completing the time card punch here, but then also see, hey, this met my threshold. This was the employee that completed that time card punch. As the admin go through, review all of our time card information, I can also control how I want my time card review to be laid out here, along with additional hours reports that we can utilize here inside the WorkMax system. Review our hours, go ahead and approve, then have that information passed over into the actual Foundation accounting system payroll module to then bring those hours into our actual payroll runs here. And again, too, with that WorkMax system, more than just a time tracking system here. With that time tracking system can also have those forms. Again, going to have preloaded form formats inside the system that we can come in, have the employees fill out the information, date and time of the injury, what happened, have these preloaded forms, or we can come in and build forms from the ground up of any information that we may want the employees to provide us from the job site here. Then go ahead, once those forms have been completed, can control to how those time cards are then emailed out and sent to our actual employees for tracking those individual forms here. Then also to offer that insights feature, show us where all of our jobs stand versus those required budgets, what's been complete, would then pull any jobs that are trending over budget, those that are trending under budget, and allow us to drill down into the individual projects here and any cost codes that we may have broken out against that individual project, and can export any additional information, any reports that are included with the WorkMax time tracking system here. All right. So I'll go ahead, I'll jump out of the WorkMax system here. I see we do have some questions for WorkMax. I'll answer those at the end here as I want to jump into the payroll service here with where we're kind of at timing wise for the presentation here. So I'll jump out of the WorkMax system here. Anyone who has interest in setting up a demonstration, feel free to please reach out. Be happy to go through a one-on-one overview of that mobile time card system for you. But the third step here that we'll cover here today, that actual payroll processing. So payroll for construction here. Foundation's online payroll service provider, only working for the construction industry here. We'll have payroll processing in all 50 states here, whether we're working report to one state, working report to multiple states, does not matter. You can handle that here with the payroll services. Payroll for construction can stand alone and integrate with other accounting solutions out there, such as QuickBooks, Sage, etc., or it can be built directly into the Foundation accounting system here. What payroll for construction will do is we'll pay your employees via check, direct deposit, handle all tax filings and payments as the payroll provider here, and as well as automate reports like job costing, certified payroll, EEO, minority compliance, as well as union reports here. Then with that payroll service, again, construction specific payroll, be able to handle multiple states, or if anyone in the audience is working in states like Ohio, Kentucky, where we have multiple localities that need to be tracked for the team members here, can have that all handled inside of the payroll system. We'll also be able to automate pay rates for prevailing wage, union information, where on my employee record, I can set up a set private commercial rate for that employee. But if that employee is part of a union or that employee is sent to a prevailing wage project, going to have a specific pay rate as well as a specific set of benefits or that prevailing wage fringe we're going to track for that team member here. So be able to automatically automate the tracking of those pay rates and the fringe and benefit calculations via tables that we have inside the system that can be tied directly to that job record. Also, too, if we have any contractors that are prevailing wage and already offering those employees a certain number, a certain dollar amount in employee benefits, instead of having those paid on top of each other and overpaying the employees, we can also provide and track a prevailing wage fringe reduction factor or a fringe credit, have the system automatically calculate that fringe credits. If we're doing that outside of our current system on some sort of Excel sheet, can have that automated within the payroll system. And finally, too, workers' compensation. We do not handle any workers' compensation payments here, but we know how big a part of the payroll process, job costing, is tracking this information. So we can have that workers' compensation policy track broken out by the type of work that's being performed, the different class levels. As hours are being coded into the system, then it'll automatically track where we stand with workers' compensation. Have a high-level report we can then run to see where we stand against our workers' compensation policy. But then going hand in hand with the construction specific payroll comes that construction specific reporting. So then whether you're utilizing Foundation processing payroll in-house or utilizing payroll for construction, the payroll service with Foundation, or having it stand alone, all these reports will be available to you inside your system. Certified payroll reports, print and electronic formats available for your team to run for any date range needed, any project. Generate the report, send off the report where it needs to go. It'll be the same thing with minority compliance, EEO reporting, have print and electronic formats available for those as well. Job labor, burden cost reports, that workers' compensation report, that can be ran for a high-level class breakout or get down into employee by employee, earn code by earn code basis, as well as 401k information. Another big one here, that union reporting. Again, whether we're working with one union, multiple unions, we can set up your union information, have all of that automatically tracked, withheld from the employees' paychecks, and then have a union report available for us to run that gives us the overall bottom line of where we stand with that union. Then also to have child support and other garnishments reports. You can handle any court order garnishments in-house with the payroll services here, or if you wanted to outsource any garnishments to our team, you can do so after the amount is withheld. We'll send off the garnishment information where it needs to go if you wanted to have us handle those as well. right? Then at our core, we're still going to be that traditional payroll service provider. So we'll pay the employees via check or direct deposit, handle all payroll tax filings and payments, the weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual tax filings and payments, quarterly and annual returns, as well as we'll complete the filing and distribution of those employee W-2s come year end. If anyone were to move forward with our services outside of January 1st, we'll take all payroll history, what's been done so far this year, get it up to date inside your payroll system as the payroll providers here. So employees will only receive one W-2 from Payroll for Construction come year end. Then what else makes us different here? Again, the payroll service can be built directly into that Foundation accounting system, or Payroll for Construction can stand alone and integrate with other accounting programs out there. Again, QuickBooks, other accounting packages there. But with us, our only focus is construction. We'll have a staff of professionals experience with construction payroll. Our tax and support team is our team trained only in-house on our systems here. Could walk down the hall of our office, go meet with our support representatives, over 40 individuals available to you, unlimited free support included as a Payroll for Construction client. Then also web-based access anytime, anywhere with an internet connection. Some sort of PC, laptop, computer device will be needed to log in to your actual payroll system. Then also the last bullet point here, we do also offer an online stub portal for the employees to retrieve their pay stubs electronically. If we didn't want to go that full-blown HR package route, we have sort of a simple basic offering called e-access here, where the employees can just pull those pay stubs electronically with a few other reports that they can run there if we weren't quite ready for a full HR package for the team. And how a payroll is processed, you log in online, you enter or import those time cards, whether it's through our mobile application or can have imports pulled from other time tracking systems out there. You then review the time card entries and payroll calculations. You go ahead, submit payroll with a click of a button. Our team takes over. We'll handle the rest from there. Then all your information seamlessly flows into your reports available to you inside of your accounting system or your payroll database there. Then what I'll do here next real quick is I'll show you guys then, hey, with Payroll for Construction, we're either built directly into that payroll module inside of Foundation here, or if you're a payroll only client of ours here, you're still utilizing the Foundation accounting software database, but only utilizing the payroll module, the job costing module, and parts of the general ledger, where we'll then have the integration tools to pass information back into your corresponding accounting system there. Before a quick look into the actual payroll system then, inside payroll maintenance with us, we'll set up those employees, set up that workers' compensation policy here. But then at the bottom, we'll have those specific pay rate tables, whether it's for a prevailing wage project or for a specific union that we're working with. You take that information, set up then the corresponding trade numbers. Don't have too much with that one. We'll go into local 6. All of our trade classifications, pay rates broken out that we can then attach to the employee or attach to a specific job record, have then track all the corresponding pay rates for the information. You'll also notice we'll have effective dates that we can timestamp when these contracts are taking place. Hey, the first of the year here with our local 6, here's the list of our rates. Have a separate table that we track all the benefit information here. Then maybe 6 months later or a year later, everything's going up by $1 when we get an updated contract here for my example. You come in, enter the updated information, timestamp it with the upcoming effective date. So once that effective date hits, no matter if it's the beginning of a payroll run, in the middle of a payroll run, this system will use those effective dates, switch over our employees to the updated contract information. No need to go in and update 50, 60 employees' individual information with us, as they'll all get caught under these tables, whether that's specific for a union here, or can do so as well for our prevailing wage projects, have the corresponding pay rates pulled in automatically here for that information. Then the pay rates are all tracked here. We'll then have a separate table here for that deduction fringe information, where we'll come in, that union we're working with, no matter if all trades are being calculated at the same rate here, or I need to get down into a trade by trade, employee by employee basis, can do so with those benefit calculations. Mark them as what they are, deduction or fringe. We'll set up all the naming conventions, how you want those benefits to be broken out here, the rate they're calculated at. Then also, not all these benefits need to be calculated at the same way, whether it's based on hours worked or based on hours paid, where we could have the 0.5 calculation be subject to it for overtime, or we may not need to be subject here. Is it a percentage? Is it a fixed amount here? Can also control how these are being taxed. Then also any limits along with those corresponding effective dates. This will also be the same for any prevailing wage fringe calculations for the employees here. Once these tables are set up, you can tie them to a job record, tie them to an employee record. As then we are coding our information into our payroll system here. We can manually enter hours into the system. We can import hours from another mobile application there. We can also sync those hours in from a mobile application with our team, or also too, for those imports, you can pull in any sort of Excel sheet, CSV file in to your time card screen. If you wanted to import hours, some sort of CSV Excel doc will be needed. You enter the hours, have a number of proofing reports, pre-check registers to review where the hours calculations stand. Then you submit payroll to us for processing. All those reports are then available to you inside of your actual Foundation accounting system or your payroll database. I'll jump in, show a workers' compensation report. I can run this from a high-level class breakdown. Or hey, maybe we're going through an audit, need a little bit more detail here. Get down into an employee by employee, trade by trade basis or earned code basis. Switch my format, rerun my report. I'll have all my employees under my classes, giving me my overall subtotals here at the bottom. Any reports within Foundation / payroll for construction, PDF, Word, Excel, CSV, click a button, save it to our desktop. Very easy to pull these off if needed there. Close out here. Also, EEO minority compliance report, print and electronic versions available. Same thing with those certified payroll reports. Whether we're uploading to an electronic portal online here, the California DIR, Ashtraware, eMARS, or a popular one, LCP tracker. Select your format you need, you click OK. You come in, you put the date range that you need the cert to be ran for. We'll then set up a folder where you want this file to be saved. Then we're creating the XLS file that is uploaded to LCP tracker. I go ahead, click this report. Looks like a jumbled mess of information. That's because we're creating the file upload, where I can go ahead, click close. File's not been created, create file now, click yes. Log into LCP tracker, upload that file. No manual entry of certified information with our system. That file has been created for you. Going to be the same thing with those certified payroll print options here. Go ahead, put in the date range that you need. Over 40 formats available for those print options for us to choose from here. If a report format changes, our team will update it, timestamp that report change, as we're only working in the construction industry, staying up to date with those report formats. Just scroll through real quick, show you guys some of the formats. But hey, maybe I just need that generic WH347, that US Department of Labor. Run that certified payroll report. No manual entry of information. If there's a spot for it on the system here, there's a spot for it to be tracked and pulled into the actual certified report, along with the corresponding signature pages here. I'll go ahead and close out here. Then also a big one here, that union report here. Go ahead, put in the month, date range that we need, run that report. Can go ahead and show us all of our employees here that had hours and earnings under that union. Then give us our overall union subtotals here, where we stand, what we need to cut the check for. Can PDF pull a copy out. All of our union information has been automatically tracked. Again, whether it's one union, multiple unions, you can have all that information tracked and broken out here. Then a final report I will show here too. Hey, job costing payroll information. More our employees, we may be paying them, well, go back in here. We may be paying our employees here $20-some an hour, but once FICA, FUTA, SUTA, workers' comp, union fringes come into play, our employees are going to be more than that here. Our bird employee summary report will bring in all of our actual calculations here, workers' comp, and pull in, have all the information brought back to our job costing reports, as well as our burden reports here, so we can see our true average cost for our employees here. But I'll go ahead, I'll close out on this report here. Know we're coming up to the top of the hour here. So what I'll then do is I'll go ahead, I'll open it up to any questions. I know we already have some in the chat here that I'll go through, but any additional questions that I may not get to here today, we'll have someone reach out, give you guys some answers here, as well as to anyone interested in an overview, one-on-one demonstration, feel free to reach out to myself. But looking at the chat here, some other ones that we haven't covered. So let's go back here. So back with the WorkMax system. Will the GPS component log on an employee into the job at a lot level? With the employee's location, it's going to be a generic area that they're clocking into. If we're working on some sort of building and want to see that the employee was working on floor 3, it won't get into that level of detail. It will show us on the map where the employee had punched in at the generic vicinity there. We won't be able to get it down to an individual parking lot level or individual floor if we're looking for that sort of kind of location tracking there. Does the time tracking allow for a project/task drop-down selection? Yep, absolutely. The employees could go ahead, select what project tasks they're working on there. You could lock down on an employee-by-employee basis what they're actually able to utilize and select inside of that WorkMax system. Then looks like we have an hrHQ question. If hrHQ is utilized and pay holidays are selected, will the time tracking automatically enter holidays for those that meet the eligibility requirements? So with hrHQ, this system is a newer system here at this point in time. Within the system, we're only tracking employee holidays PTO information in there. It's not going to automatically enter a time card for them into the payroll run if they meet the eligibility requirement. We're simply tracking it through hrHQ at this point in time. Then we would enter the employee's hours information on a time card after it had been approved in the HR system. We're going to have it auto set up time cards here in the future. Since this product is newer, we are currently still adding new features, beefing up that system as the roadmap goes along here. Another question for WorkMax here. I see only job and cost code information on the time card. Are additional levels of detail also available? Yes, absolutely. That time card entry screen can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be there. We have the ability to enter additional custom fields. Also, too, can also record job cost quantity amounts against individual time card, against individual cost codes there on the time cards as well. That time card can be more than just the employee selecting the job and the cost code if needed there. The time card system, does the system require the employee to have a company email for accessing the system? No, the WorkMax login is actually going to be a PIN for a PIN digit clock in or login for the employees. That PIN can be anywhere from 3 to 9 digits in length. The employee does not need to have an email address to access the WorkMax mobile time card application there. Keep going through. Can we import a Google Doc into the payroll module or Payroll HQ? We will not be able to upload a Google Doc. We will need some sort of CSV, Excel, layout time card file format. A CSV or Excel file will be needed to be able to import into the actual payroll modules, the systems with the Foundation accounting or the payroll services here. Then we also have, is employee onboarding available in Spanish? Employee onboarding is not yet available in Spanish. Multi-language options will be available here in the future with the hrHQ system. All right. With that there, looks like I don't have any other questions in the chat here. We are at the top of the hour. So I want to thank everyone for taking the time to meet with me here today, to join today's webinar presentation. Any additional questions or interest in setting up a live one-on-one demonstration, feel free to go to our website here, or feel free to reach out to myself individually here. Be happy to answer any questions you may have, or provide an overview into any one of these product offerings for you and any other team members there. Well, with that, again, thank you everyone for taking the time to join us here today. Hope everyone has a great rest of their day here today. Anything I can do to help, please don't hesitate to reach out here.